Greetings, dear viewers, ladies and gentlemen. This is Addis Dialogue, a program that deals with current issues unfolding in Ethiopia. It is also a program that features people with outstanding performances, and my guest today is Dr. Fitsum Feleke. He's a researcher, academician, and also a scientist. He did his first degree in Addis Ababa University in pharmacy. He did his second degree in pharmaceutics from the same university, and also he received his PhD from Martin Luther University, Halle, Wittenberg, and he also did his postdoctoral researches in universities from Germany and the United States of America. So we're going to talk about all these issues, and with the program, I'm Shifarao Lako. Do stay with us. Dr. Fitsum, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
You received your first degree and second degree in pharmacy and pharmaceutics from Addis Ababa University. You did your PhD in Germany. You have this amazing educational background, so I really want your bio from the horse's mouth. So can you tell me some of the things that you did when it comes to your educational background?
Yeah, by training I'm a pharmacist, like you said. Upon my graduation, I was keen to embark a career in academia.
Okay.
At the time, I got the opportunity to join Addis Ababa University as a faculty, junior faculty, maybe as a graduate assistant. And my academic career started in there. At the same time, while working, I did my master's degree in there.
Okay.
And I was promoted to the rank of lecturer, and I was teaching, and at the same time assuming offices, different offices. At the time I was extension program coordinator, and then promoted to an assistant dean for the extension program. Mm-hmm. And because of my achievements, I was able to get a scholarship from DIADE to pursue my PhD in pharmaceutical sciences in Germany. So that was really the starting point to my success, success to date. Yeah.
You also received amazing recognitions and awards. For instance, you received the 2022 Performance Award. You were named Professor of the Year by California North State University. You were named a Fellow of prestigious Alexander von Humboldt Foundation, recognized by African German Network for Excellence Science. Amazing.
Yeah, so these are the major achievements. I have been getting recognition from time to time since my, my school days. But these are in the past, and these are memories for me. But these are, the one that you mentioned are the main that I count as, major awards in my career. So probably it might be helpful, for others, like for example, the performance award that I got this year is just because it's purely a performance-based award, and it's given for people. There is a goal. A goal is set for us every year, and when you do research, there are ups and downs, and there are some roadblocks, and this award is provided to those individuals who could go above and beyond and solve those research problems and achieve their goals. So this is as an example. Just to add on, Alexander von Humboldt Foundation, this is also, I'm very much proud of that, because Alexander von Humboldt Foundation it awards only limited number of fellowships for people throughout the world in all disciplines. Mm-hmm. and this is for highly qualified scientists and scholars to do research of their own interest in any host institute in Germany. So this is also something which I'm proud of.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the California North State University, the Professor of the Year award. So that one was really, I'm proud of that as well, because I did not expect it. That's why I was excited.
Wow.
So the reason why I did not expect is I was competing with experienced professors with so many recognitions. I got that award on my first year as a faculty, and at that time I was, I was trying to settle, and that was my wish. I was not expecting anything. So, but at the same time, I was really working hard. So it showed me something. If I work hard, you could achieve anything. Anything that you don't even expect can come into your way. So this is a message that I just want to pass to people. So if you work hard, sometimes even if you don't expect something, it can come into your own way. So.
Obviously, I know also you have other recognitions and work experience, such as nanotechnology. We're going to come to that later on. So, with all such wonderful educational background experience, what are some of the things that you are doing now?
Currently, I'm a senior product development scientist. As a scientist, I lead new drug product development projects. Multiple projects, and my role would be as a product development scientist. I make new prototypes along with other fellow scientists and associate scientists. In addition, I am the R&D lead on each project. What it means is the entire development process involves the activities of several other functions. Like there are functions who deals with the quality of the drug and the regulatory aspect of the drug, and so on and so forth. And I have a sub-team containing representatives of each functions, and I lead that team. I'm the leader of that sub-team. And I also represent research and development, R&D, in a core team comprising the commercial and supply chain units. So overall, I am a project lead. In a project lead, I would be either an or R&D lead or new product development lead and/or.
Impressive achievement. Let's also talk about your country, Ethiopia. With such astounding performance, amazing educational backgrounds, how are you supporting Ethiopia's pharmaceutical sector, in particular, and the medical development, the medical industry in general? What are some of the things that you are doing here?
I have been an academician for quite some time, and my career path started here. Before and after my PhD, I worked in Ethiopia, and the academia it plays a critical role in shaping the pharmaceutical sector in a country. And as an educator and as a mentor, and of course as a leader, I believe I put my markers on the pharmaceutical sector, which might be recognizable or not. Currently, I'm a researcher, and everything that I do is developing new product, and my research outcome would benefit the entire world. And Ethiopia is also part of the world, and I believe that my contribution would be helpful to this country as well, indirectly. And there is also an ongoing discussion with my previous faculty on how to help or how to contribute in the future. So I'm very open. I have skills and knowledge that I gained over the years, and I am really happy to share what I have with my country.
Let's also talk about the pharmaceutical developments in Ethiopia. So in your view and evaluation, where is Ethiopia's pharmaceutical industry in particular, and also the medical activities in general?
It's a good question. I don't have the statistics now, but there are some things that are very apparent. We can talk without having numbers.
Exactly.
As a country, we are a little bit lagging behind compared to most other Western countries. For example, in terms of manufacturing, we are importing a significant amount of, a significant share of the drugs from other countries. And in terms of education, like pharmacy education, we're not currently, most Western countries are moving away from the traditional B-Pharma program, or they are either switching completely to a PharmD program, which is Doctor of Pharmacy, or they are, running both in parallel. But this activity hasn't been initiated in Ethiopia.
Okay.
And we have, some ground to cover in that respect as well. And in terms of research and development, there are some, researches and development activities which are conducted in the country. But in general, those researches are, fragmented, and the required amount of, there is no, the investment on research is not that much, encouraging. So we have, a lot of ground to cover in terms of manufacturing, training, research and development, and so on and so forth.
Thank you so much for that evaluation, which is really appropriate because it comes from someone that's well-versed and experienced person. Let's also talk about the traditional medicine being applied in Ethiopia. It's been going on from time immemorial. There are shortcomings and good points. Many say, many frown upon it, many support it. And I really want your take on the traditional medicines being applied in Ethiopia. What are some of your evaluations of the medicines? How should they be applied?
There are many positives and negatives regarding traditional medicine in Ethiopia, the practice in general. We know that the traditional medicine is just laid the basis for the modern medicine. And we know that in Ethiopia, not 100% of the population has access to modern medicine. And traditional medicine is a go-to for those people who do not have access to modern medicine. And like you mentioned, this is an asset for a country because this is a knowledge that is accumulated and that has been passed from generation to generation, and which is very, I see it as an asset for Ethiopia, because I know that big manufacturing companies, they are spending a lot of money just to come up with lead compounders. We have compounders that we call them lead drug compounders.
Okay.
And we have those lead compounders in our traditional medicines. And I read papers here and there, and I can see that, some researchers are working in tandem with Western countries, and they are taking those traditional medicines, and the Western countries are, investigating, working further on those, traditional medicines, and yeah, I see that, this would be, beneficial. They are getting benefited out of it. They benefit out of it. So this is a knowledge, accumulated knowledge, which we have to preserve, which the government is to pay attention to. When we come to, these are all the positive sides, but when we come to the negative side, there are some things which are not clear, like the practitioners, how genuine they are, and some of them might not be genuine practitioners. They may not have the knowledge that they got it from, from generation to generation. they may not have the right knowledge transferred to them, but still practicing traditional medicine. And another thing is, treatment depends on diagnosis of a disease. They might not diagnose disease properly, and giving the wrong medicine is not the right thing to do. And the other thing is, it's a very important thing is, there is essay which Heraclitus, I think it's in the 16th century, he said, only the dose distinguishes a drug from a poison. So unless we are giving the right amount of drug for a patient, that means we're not giving the right medicine or the right dose. Maybe we are giving a poison. So those traditional medicines, the healers are getting them from different sources, and those are not standardized. They don't really know the exact amount of the active components that heals the disease in those traditional medicines. And apart from that, there are some other toxic components in traditional medicines, and there must be a work must be done on a standardization and assessing the safety of those traditional medicines on a national level. Because traditional medicines is not, like I said, it's not all negative. There are Western countries who are using their traditional medicines. They standardize those products, and they are using for the treatment of different ailments. So, this is an asset which, if it is utilized properly, there is something that we can get benefit out of it.
Ethiopian medical students, how competent are they when it comes to their knowledge, their proficiency, especially in keeping with themselves up to date and also in the competition among students in developed countries? How competent are they, and what's lacking, and what's the positive thing that should continue?
Thank you for the question, and it's a very tricky question. I have been an academician for many years, and I have had the opportunity to work with students in 3 different continents, and obviously there is a difference in competency even within a class. Not all the students are equally competent, and even within a country, people coming from different schools are not competent enough, or they are not equally competent. And the same thing, you see this disparity between competency between countries. And in my opinion, the whole thing lies on our training modalities and training strategies. Generally, if you look at students coming from the Western countries, they work on them at a grassroots, and mostly when they come to the college, they are independent, and they usually have a very good communicative skills. So this is what I noticed. Again, when you come to the institutes, higher institutes, most of the colleges have been or are in the process of transitioning from the traditional teacher-centered teaching methodology into a modern student-centered methodology, where instructors play only a facilitator role. I can give you an example. For example, when I was a faculty at California Northern State University, what we did was we just gave the resources and our lectures to the students prior to the session. So they get prepared on that, they read all the resources that we provide them, and we usually started the class with a quiz. They take a quiz from what they read, and the purpose of that quiz is just it would let us know where they have a confusion, what they are good at, and where we need to focus. So based on that, we will give some explanations and discussions. And after completing that, we will give them another group exercise and we let the students just to discuss among themselves and do, they deal with the questions. We will only be around just facilitating, and after they finish, we give them some half an hour or something like that, and after that, we will reconnect again, and we will assess what's missing, and if they have any questions, we will, discuss those questions, and finally, we will give them, a short quiz, evaluation. So, in general, you use evaluation just for assessment, assessment for learning, not assessment of learning. So, this is a very interactive, and we are only facilitators. Of course, this is a lot of work for the instructor as well. You need to be well prepared. And it's a lot of work for the students as well, because they need to be well prepared before coming to the class. So, but in general, this is a very efficient way of learning. So, we kind of need to shift from the traditional teacher-centered approach to a student-centered approach. I believe it would be helpful. So, like I said, there is a difference in competency level. But at the same time, you see students coming from abroad, coming from Ethiopia, and we usually have a very strong scientific background. People coming from Ethiopia, they have a very strong scientific background, although we don't have really strong communication skills. We have a very strong scientific background, and it won't take us time just to mingle and to catch up with science. And looking at a grand scheme of things, the students are equally competent. People coming from this country are equally competent, in spite of the difference in training.
Moving on from there, Doctor, as you know, there are different issues when it comes to Ethiopia's medical sector, especially the brain drain is a huge pain that still needs the collaborative efforts of many. What are some of your observations in this regard, and how should the issues be rectified?
This is a difficult question to answer because we have been talking about brain drain for many years now. Brain drain is an issue not only for Ethiopia, it's for the entire Africa. Asia is suffering from brain drain. Same thing for Europe. The extent is different, and the causes of brain drain are well understood. Like, people tend to move to U.S. and North America in search of a better life, and at times due to political instability, and it could be in search of an advanced technology. So the causes are known. So my suggestion is just to recognize those causes and work on how to minimize these problems. Give a recognition, like a brain drain means it's a highly trained individual or a highly skilled individual. So we need to understand the values of highly trained or highly skilled individuals. And we need to, give a special recognition, so in my opinion, and make them comfortable at home and get the benefit, from those trained individuals.
You're an expert in nanotechnology, which is really, really impressive. So I also want your take when it comes to nanotechnology and its application in the continent of Africa. How should it be applied on the continent of Africa for the maximum benefits of the continent?
Nanotechnology is a very broad field. It's applicable in electronics, for example, in medicine, in drug delivery or drug development. It's applied in different areas, and the development is likewise not, in every area. It's not even. It's not even. So when we come to drug delivery, nanotechnology People has been working on nanotechnology for many years. Unfortunately, there are not many products in the market, and people are still working, trying to understand, what nanotechnologies are and how we can apply for medical purposes without, creating other problems, because nanotechnologies have associated problems, and there is extensive work which is being done on that, throughout the world. And Africa, unfortunately, from what I know, in some countries in Africa, like they are actively working on that. Like if you go to Egypt and South Africa, they are actively working on that. But others are not that much, invested. That they are not that much investing in the nanotechnology field. So we could say this is at the level of infancy, although people have been working on that, especially application of nanotechnology in the medical field. So this is almost at the level of infancy, and how we can benefit out of it is just by establishing a center of excellence, which work on nanotechnology areas, probably.
My final question would be, what's your message to up and coming youngsters?
First of all, they need to believe in themselves. So unfortunately, when we grow up, it's not like a blaming, but some of our teachers might not recognize that we have a great potential. So everybody needs to understand that they have a great potential to be great whatever they want. What I say is just believe, and believe that everybody can achieve whatever they want. But just believe by itself would not be adequate. So you need to have a dream, and to achieve your dream, you need to work hard and smart. So this is my advice, because to reach to the level where I am now, I had so many moments where I doubted myself. Yes. I did not know that whether I would fit in a Western country. Yes. And because this is what I heard, so people tell you that you might not do well if you go there. It's difficult. It's very hard to achieve, and those things did not help me at all. So what I say is just don't focus on the negatives, focus on the positives, believe in yourself. You can achieve anything that you have. Dream big, and work hard and work smart, and then you can achieve it. So that's what I say.
Dr. Fitsum, thank you so much for your ideas and for your time, of course.
My pleasure.
Well, dear viewers, with that we come to the end of today's program. Thank you so much for your company so far. Until I see you next time with another program, let's say goodbye from me, Shifar Alako. Take care and stay safe.